The interwoven destinies in Beyond the Gates now teeter on the brink of collapse, as a storm of passion, betrayal, and suffering rises ever higher. All eyes are fixed on the trio of Eva, TOMAS, and Kat, where each character is swept into a vortex of desire, challenge, and temptation. The question haunting every viewer's mind is, will Eva's relentless pursuit of TOMAS push them to the edge of an irreversible sin? And if that happens, will the fire within Kat erupt into destructive fury? Or will it become the strength she needs to rise above everything? Follow this story to discover the motives, desires, and unforeseen consequences, each capable of changing their lives forever. TOMAS, with his chiseled features and deep, contemplative eyes, is the embodiment of decency amidst the lavish world behind the estate's gates. His appeal is undeniable, yet it is his steadfastness, loyalty, and moral compass that make him the ideal partner in Kat's eyes, her devoted companion and longtime lover. However, the unexpected arrival of Eva, a dangerously seductive woman with magnetic allure, bold beauty, and a penchant for risk, throws a massive stone into their tranquil pond, upsetting the fragile balance between TOMAS and Kat. Eva's boldness reaches its peak on a moonlit night in the estate's rose garden, when she suddenly closes the distance and gives TOMAS an unexpected kiss. That moment sends an electric wave through the audience, thickening the air with tension. Eva's lips linger near TOMAS, her gaze clear and proud under the starlit sky. But TOMAS, always the gentleman, gently yet firmly refuses her. In a voice both tender and resolute, he confides that his heart belongs wholly to Kat. This refusal is not only a lesson in restraint but also a testament to a steadfast love that cannot be shaken. Yet in Eva's eyes, a spark of defiance flares, a silent promise that this is just the beginning of her dangerous and daring conquest. The bitter taste of defeat has never made Eva retreat. On the contrary, it only intensifies her hunger to possess and to win. For Eva, failure is unacceptable, especially in battles of the heart, or more accurately, in the power struggles among women. Throughout the story, the simmering rivalry between Eva and Kat becomes a taut thread stretching every emotion. Does Eva pursue TOMAS out of genuine love? Or is this simply an act of revenge? A calculated move to break her lifelong adversary? Kat, with her strong and direct nature, is the perfect counterweight to Eva. Her love for TOMAS burns as fiercely as fire, consuming her thoughts and actions. In a recent episode, viewers witnessed a deeply intimate moment between the couple. Driven by longing, Kat took the initiative, guiding TOMAS deeper into her world. Candlelight flickered in their dim bedroom, their silhouettes dancing on the wall as her hand traced the curve of his shoulder. A scene both mesmerizing and intense. But TOMAS, cautious as always, gently maintained his boundaries. "I love you, Kat, but I want everything to be right for us," he confided, his gaze sincere and respectful. For TOMAS, intimacy is not just a physical act but a sacred turning point, reserved for hearts truly in sync. Kat, though saddened, chose to respect his wishes, a testament to a love that knows how to wait and forgive. Yet Eva misses nothing. She always knows when and where to appear. From the estate's shadowy hallways, Eva observes every gesture and look, storing away each moment for her schemes. In her cunning mind, she begins weaving new strategies to test TOMAS's loyalty and Kat's patience. For Eva, conquering TOMAS is not just a romantic pursuit but a powerful weapon with which to strike at Kat, who for years has outshone her with natural allure and irresistible confidence. Despite every rejection, Eva never stops trying to breach TOMAS's defenses. Each encounter is filled with subtle touches, intense glances, and suggestive compliments, all meticulously calculated to unsettle TOMAS. In one tense scene in the estate library, Eva boldly confronts him. "You can't deny there's something between us," she whispers, her voice seductive as velvet. "Kat may have your heart, but I see how you look at me when you think no one's watching." TOMAS, though outwardly steady, cannot deny the faint spark of unfamiliar feeling, a spark he has tried to suppress. This moment raises questions for both viewers and characters. Will Eva's persistence eventually cause Tomas to falter? Is his faith in Kat truly unshakable, or is he wavering deep inside? The arrival of a stormy night, when the estate is shrouded in darkness, rain and wind howling at the windows, serves as a metaphor for the climax of pent-up tension. One moment of weakness, and Tomas could fall into Eva's arms, after which nothing could ever be the same. Should such betrayal occur, the consequences will be catastrophic. Kat, with her passionate heart and unyielding loyalty, would never forgive such deceit. A fierce confrontation, perhaps in the estate's grand hall, under the stunned gaze of all, would expose every secret and suppressed emotion. Kat would cry out in pain and rage, demanding answers from both the man she loves and her most dangerous enemy. Tomas, torn between guilt and longing, would beg for forgiveness, while Eva, though tasting a fleeting victory, would realize that possessing Tomas's body is not the same as having his heart. The dynamic among Eva, Tomas, and Kat is a microcosm of the themes explored in Beyond the Gates. Love, power, jealousy, and the destructive force of betrayal. Each character has their own internal battles. Tomas wrestles with his values and desires, Kat with trust and pain, Eva with her hunger for victory and haunting loneliness. Their story is an endless journey of trials, stumbles, and rebirth, where even the smallest moment of weakness can change a life forever. In a world fraught with temptation, longing, and loyalty as fragile as a thread hanging over an abyss, Tomas once believed his resolve was an impenetrable fortress. Facing insidious temptations, Tomas constantly reminded himself that everything he cherished began with his steadfastness to Kat, the woman who had shared every season of his life, from youth to their shared dreams for the future. Yet even what seems unshakable can be upended by a silent undercurrent, waiting for the right moment to sweep everything away. Eva's appearance is neither random nor accidental. She is the embodiment of a calculated, sharp loneliness, a bold beauty fused with icy intellect and irresistible charm. For Eva, love is but a small branch in the ocean of power and possession. She sees Tomas not just as a target for her heart, but as a sharp weapon to challenge her own limits and shatter the wall of pride Kat has built around herself. When Eva starts her game of conquest, she spares no weapon, from distant glances and suggestive touches to her constant presence in every private space Tomas and Kat share. Despite all his efforts of will and loyalty, Tomas strives to keep his distance from Eva. He fully understands the power of temptation, acutely aware of the irreversible consequences a single moment of weakness can bring. In his heart, Tomas builds a fortress where Kat reigns as the only queen. Every closeness to Eva is merely a trial of fate, a test to prove his love's resilience against all storms. Yet the smallest cracks can widen under prolonged pressure. Kat, with the poise of a seasoned soul, always senses a vague shift in the air. She is not one to suspect without cause or to be blindly jealous. But the long stretch of peace begins to unsettle her, especially when she sees Tomas's eyes clouded by something unnamed whenever Eva is near. Kat herself carries deep wounds from past losses, making her fiercely protective of her current happiness. She once believed that sincere love and understanding could weather any storm, but sometimes a single moment of a loved one's weakness can ignite a chain of uncontrollable tragedy. For Kat, Tomas is her only safe harbor amid life's storms, so she pours all her trust, longing, and fear of loss into him. The lives of Tomas, Kat, and Eva gradually become a brutal psychological chess game. Eva does not attack directly but persistently sows internal conflict in Tomas, inch by inch drawing him toward the edge of an unforgivable mistake. Her presence at every crucial moment, probing looks, mysterious smiles, seemingly playful but deeply loaded remarks, push Tomas into a fierce tug-of-war between reason and instinct. He begins to realize that his efforts to resist are not always effective, that he is not entirely immune to the unfamiliar feelings Eva stirs. Everything comes to a head on a fateful night. Thunder rumbles outside the estate, darkness and damp cold seep into every corner, creating an oppressive atmosphere foreshadowing catastrophe. Tomas wanders the empty halls, weighed down by tangled thoughts of love, duty, and the longing to break free from the shackles of his past. Eva, like a magnetic phantom, suddenly appears in the night, her eyes gentle yet challenging. In that moment, all Tomas's rational barriers seem to crumble before overwhelming emotion. And right then, Kat unexpectedly witnesses everything. Seeing Tomas swept into a moment of weakness with Eva is a cold blade plunging into Kat's heart. She can no longer scream or cry or unleash her anger. Numbed by pain, Kat is petrified, helplessly watching her beliefs shatter before her eyes. Rage and despair entwine within her, drowning all reason, leaving her on the edge between explosive wrath and an internal collapse beyond rescue. Kat once thought herself strong, believed that loving deeply would be enough to forgive all mistakes. But when faced with actual betrayal, even a fleeting one, every theory about love and forgiveness becomes meaningless. Within her, two conflicting impulses clash. The urge for vengeance, to tear apart everything that once bound her to Tomas, and the despair of retreating into her own darkness, consumed by silent, inexpressible agony. Tomas, after a fleeting loss of self-control, immediately plunges into the abyss of guilt. He realizes that the consequence of his weakness is not just Kat's loss of trust, but the destruction of the very ideals and identity he has always cherished. The harshest punishment comes not from Kat's fury or Eva's fleeting victory, but from the relentless voice of his conscience tormenting him every hour. He feels smaller, weaker, and more contemptible than ever. The days following this event are bleak for all three. Tomas is lost in guilt, regret, and futile attempts to mend the ever-widening gap between himself and Kat. He knows that no explanation or attempt at redemption matters if Kat cannot overcome her hurt. He remembers every look and touch from Kat, remembers the peace she brought, and the more he remembers, the more tormented he becomes. He tries desperately to reconnect, to beg forgiveness, but Kat shuts down, retreating behind a cold, distant shell. Kat chooses neither revenge nor confrontation with Eva. Instead, she sinks into silence, letting the wound inside her destroy every hope. She begins to question her own worth, doubts the love she once considered indestructible. Isolated, closed to the world, she lives only with memories and inescapable pain. Sometimes, Kat wants to forgive, to escape the shadow of the past. But the pain is too overwhelming for hope to shine through. As for Eva, even temporary triumph brings no true happiness. She quickly realizes that a victory of the flesh cannot fill the emptiness of her soul, that even if she conquers Tomas, she will always be an outsider to his life. Eva begins to feel the loneliness of a predator trapped in her own snare. Even regret creeps quietly into her thoughts, leaving her to face her own bitter reckoning. The air among the three grows stifling and cold, with no hope for reconciliation or healing. Tomas struggles to regain Kat's trust. Kat fights to rescue herself from despair, and Eva seeks to understand the true meaning of victory and defeat. Each tries to move forward, but every step is heavy with remorse, regret, and wounds that will not heal. In that world, love, loyalty, betrayal, and pain interweave into a dark symphony no one wishes to conduct. Each character must face their true limits. Can Tomas find inner peace again? Is Kat strong enough to overcome and rise from the ashes of despair? Can Eva abandon her desire to possess and find real tranquility? Each is a smoldering ember, ready to blaze into an inferno or fade forever into the darkness they have created. In the end, all that remains is silence. A silence thick with pain, regret, and all the words that can never be spoken. Even as the outside world moves on, the hearts of these three bear forever the scars of that fateful night. A night where loyalty was tested, love torn between temptation and sin, and forgiveness, if it ever comes, will be nothing short of a miracle. As feelings cool, all three must accept that sometimes the smallest crack is the beginning of an endless abyss, where every regret comes too late.